Have you ever wondered why every garden center sells the same boring tomatoes and petunias? Here's the truth they won't tell you. They're not showing you what earns the most money, they're showing you what sells the fastest. But what if I told you there are crops sitting right under their noses that could turn your backyard into something extraordinary? Crops that chefs hunt for, that sell for more per ounce than gold, that most people have never even heard of. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 10 plants that could change everything you thought you knew about gardening. So grab something to write with, because what you're about to learn isn't in any seed catalog. I've spent years experimenting with unusual crops, and I'll be honest with you, the moment I stopped growing what everyone else was growing, everything changed. Not just my garden, but how I thought about what's possible in a small space. And that's what this is really about. It's about discovering that the most valuable things often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to try. Now, if you're the type of person who gets excited about plants with a story, plants that do more than just look pretty, then you need to stay connected with us. Hit that subscribe button right now, because every single week we're diving into crops, techniques, and ideas that most gardeners never discover. Your future self will thank you. Trust me on this one. Let's start with something that'll blow your mind. Imagine a flower so valuable that 3 tiny threads from it cost more than an ounce of gold. I'm talking about saffron crocus. These little purple blooms show up in fall when everything else is dying back, and hidden inside each flower are 3 crimson threads. That's saffron, the real deal. And here's what makes this absolutely wild. It sells for up to $5,000 per pound. $5,000! Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds impossible to grow, right? Wrong. If you've got a sunny spot with decent drainage, you can grow this. It thrives in zones 6 through 9, loves dry conditions, and actually prefers the kind of neglect that would kill most plants. You plant the bulbs in late summer, and by October you've got these gorgeous purple flowers popping up everywhere. The harvest is meditative. You carefully pluck those red threads, dry them, and suddenly you're holding something more precious than jewelry. People pay premium prices for homegrown saffron because they know it's authentic. Imagine gifting little vials of your own saffron at the holidays or selling them online. But beyond the money, there's something magical about growing the world's most expensive spice in your backyard while your neighbors are raking leaves. It's the kind of crop that makes you feel like you're in. Now, if saffron is the luxury crop of sunny gardens, what I'm about to share next thrives where most plants would give up. I'm talking about sea buckthorn. This is a tough, gnarly shrub covered in bright orange berries that pack more nutritional punch than almost anything else you can grow. We're talking vitamin C levels that put oranges to shame, omega fatty acids, antioxidants. This thing is a superfood powerhouse. And yes, some varieties have thorns, which scared me off at first, but here's what changed my mind. There are thornless varieties now. Varieties bred specifically for home growers who want the benefits without the battle scars. And while fresh sea buckthorn berries aren't exactly flying off grocery store shelves, the oil? That's where the real money is. Cold-pressed sea buckthorn oil sells for $70 per 100 milliliters in the beauty and supplement world. Skincare companies are obsessed with it. And here's the beautiful part. This plant actually improves your soil while it grows. It's a nitrogen fixer, which means it's feeding the earth even as you harvest from it. It thrives in zones 3 through 7, handles wind, cold, and poor soil like a champion. Once it's established, it basically takes care of itself. This is the kind of crop that builds value quietly over years, rewarding the patient gardener who thinks long-term. And honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about growing a plant that gives back more than it takes. But let's talk about something that takes patience to a whole new level. Something so rare and valuable that most restaurants don't even serve the real version. I'm talking about wasabi. Real wasabi. Not that green paste you get with your sushi. That's usually just dyed horseradish. Authentic wasabi comes from the thick, knobby rhizome of this beautiful shade-loving plant, and it sells for $100 to $150 per pound fresh. Here's what most people don't realize. Wasabi isn't impossible to grow, it just needs the right spot. Think cool, moist, shady corners where most plants struggle. That damp area beside your pond? Perfect. That north-facing bed under the trees? Ideal. Wasabi loves rich organic soil and consistent moisture. Now, yes, it takes 18 to 24 months to fully mature, but here's the thing. You can harvest the leaves long before that. Those leaves are incredible in salads and stir-fries with a gentle peppery kick that elevates any dish. And when that rhizome is finally ready, you're holding something chefs would drive across town for. The real money here is in building relationships with local restaurants, Asian markets, anyone looking for authentic ingredients. There's a quiet pride in growing something this rare, something that most people think only grows in mountain streams in Japan. It's not just a crop, it's a conversation starter, a challenge accepted, a little piece of culinary magic right in your backyard. Now let's shift gears to something sweet, something that feels like sunshine wrapped in a paper lantern. I'm talking about ground cherries. If you've never tasted one, imagine pineapple meeting mango with a hint of tomato, all in a tiny golden berry. These little fruits hang beneath delicate plants, each one wrapped in a papery husk that looks like something from a fairy tale. And the best part? They're ridiculously easy to grow. Treat them like tomatoes. Full sun, decent soil, regular water. Plant them once and they'll often self-seed year after year. You'll have ground cherries for life. What I love about these is how people react when they taste them for the first time. There's this moment of surprise, this "what is this" expression that never gets old. At farmers markets across North America, small containers of ground cherries sell for $6 to $10 each because they're still rare enough to feel special. They make incredible preserves, desserts, even savory sauces. And you can grow them in containers, which means anyone with a balcony can get in on this. There's something joyful about ground cherries. They don't take themselves too seriously. They're just these happy little fruits that keep producing all season long, asking for almost nothing in return. For someone looking to add a profitable crop that's actually fun to grow, this is it. But what if I told you there's an herb so fragrant, so purely lemony, that just brushing against it fills the air with the scent of summer? That's lemon verbena. The moment you touch a leaf, you'll understand why people are obsessed with this plant. It's not just lemony, it's the essence of lemon, bright and clean and impossibly fresh. And here's what most gardeners don't know. Lemon verbena isn't just beautiful, it's profitable. Those leaves, fresh or dried, sell for $30 to $40 per pound because that fragrance doesn't fade. It stays strong, which makes it perfect for teas, soaps, essential oils, even desserts. I've seen small garden shops and craft vendors build entire product lines around lemon verbena. Sachets, infused oils, tea blends. It's the kind of plant that turns into a signature. It grows beautifully in full sun and well-drained soil, and you can keep it in pots if your winters are cold. Just bring it inside before frost, or take cuttings to start fresh plants each spring. What I love most about lemon verbena is how it connects gardening to self-care. It's not just about profit. It's about having something in your garden that soothes you, that makes you stop and breathe deeply, that turns an ordinary day into something gentler. For those of us who garden for peace as much as produce, lemon verbena is a reminder that the best crops feed more than just the body. Now here's where things get really interesting. If you've been following along, you're clearly serious about this, and I want to show you something that grows when everything else has gone to sleep. Something that thrives in the cold, short days of winter when most gardens are bare and brown. I'm talking about mache, also called corn salad or lamb's lettuce. This humble little green has been treasured in Europe for centuries, and once you taste it, you'll understand why. It's tender, nutty, almost buttery in texture. While regular lettuce bolts or dies in the cold, mache just keeps growing, producing perfect little rosettes even through light frost. Chefs love it because it adds elegance to winter salads, and at farmers markets, it sells for 3 to 4 times what regular lettuce goes for. You sow the seeds directly into the soil in late summer or early fall, cover them lightly, and in 6 to 8 weeks, you're harvesting. It tolerates frost, handles short days, and in milder climates, you can keep picking it straight through January. What makes mache special isn't just the profit, it's the satisfaction of having fresh greens when everyone else's garden is sleeping. It's proof that winter doesn't have to mean empty beds and waiting. For anyone who gets cabin fever when the cold comes, mache is a lifeline, a reminder that growth never really stops. And speaking of fast-growing crops, let me tell you about something that borders on magical. I'm talking about microgreens. These tiny seedlings of vegetables and herbs are harvested just days after sprouting, when they're absolutely packed with nutrients and flavor. And here's what makes them incredible. They're one of the most profitable crops per square foot that you can grow anywhere. Anywhere. You don't need a garden, a greenhouse, or even a backyard. A spare room, a garage, a basement corner, even a bright windowsill works perfectly. You grow them in shallow trays, densely packed like a little forest of baby plants, using simple potting mix and LED grow lights if natural light isn't enough. Radish, broccoli, arugula, sunflower, pea shoots, basil, they all work beautifully. 7 to 14 days from seed to harvest, that's it. Less than 2 weeks from planting to profit. And when you harvest them, you're cutting seedlings that contain up to 40 times more nutrients than their mature counterparts. 40 times! These little greens are nutritional powerhouses that chefs and health-conscious customers go crazy for. Restaurants, health food stores, smoothie bars, meal prep companies, they all want them, and they'll pay premium prices. A single 10 by 20-inch tray can yield $20 to $50 worth of greens, depending on the variety in your local market. And here's the beautiful part. You can grow dozens of trays at once, stacking them on shelves, creating a vertical farm right in your spare closet. The startup costs are minimal. Some trays, seeds, soil, and basic lighting, and you're in business. For anyone in their 40s, 50s, or beyond who wants to stay active but isn't interested in heavy digging, hauling, or bending over raised beds, microgreens are perfect. They're light, indoor, creative, and everything happens at table height. You can literally start a small business from your kitchen table without ever getting your knees dirty. What I love most about microgreens is how they've changed people's lives. I've seen retirees build thriving micro-businesses. I've watched people in apartments go from I can't garden to supplying local restaurants. There's something empowering about realizing you can grow food, profitable food, in the smallest spaces with the simplest tools. It's gardening democratized, stripped down to its essentials. No excuses about not having land or the right climate or enough time. Just seeds, water, light, and a little care. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Now, let's talk about a plant that feels timeless, a plant that people have loved for thousands of years. Lavender. Those soft purple blooms, that silvery foliage, that scent that instantly calms everything down. Close your eyes and imagine walking through a lavender field. That's the feeling this plant brings to your garden every single day. There's a reason lavender never goes out of style. But here's what most people don't realize. Lavender isn't just pretty, it's a profit machine wrapped in purple beauty. Once established, these plants are nearly indestructible. They thrive in poor, dry soil that would starve other plants. They resist pests naturally, and they come back stronger every year, asking for almost nothing in return. You can harvest the blooms multiple times per season, dry them in bundles hanging upside down in a dark room, and suddenly you've got product. Dried lavender bundles go for $10 to $20 each at markets. Small bottles of lavender essential oil can fetch $15 to $40 depending on quality. Even simple lavender sachets, bath salts, or culinary blends sell beautifully at craft fairs and online shops. And beyond the money, lavender is restorative in ways that go deeper than profit. It attracts bees and butterflies, fills your garden with life and movement, turns your outdoor space into something that feels alive. If you're in zones 5 through 9, varieties like Munstead or Hidcote handle cold beautifully and bloom reliably year after year. For warmer climates, Spanish lavender gives you those distinctive butterfly-like petals. The secret to success? Plant it in full sun with excellent drainage. Even rocky or sandy soil works perfectly. Space them about 2 feet apart so air can circulate and resist the urge to overwater. There's something about lavender that touches people emotionally in ways other plants don't. It smells like comfort, like summer evenings, like your grandmother's linen closet, like everything's gonna be okay. For those of us who garden not just for income, but for peace of mind, lavender is essential. It earns money, sure, but more than that, it earns moments. Moments of calm when you brush past it. Moments of pride when you harvest it. Moments of connection when you gift it to someone you love. And sometimes that's what matters most. Let's talk about something naturally sweet, something that could save you money while you grow it. I'm talking about Stevia. You've probably seen it in stores, the zero-calorie natural sweetener that's taken over the health food world. But here's what nobody tells you. You can grow this in your backyard from a single packet of seeds. Each plant produces dozens of sweet leaves that are up to 200 times sweeter than sugar. 200 times! That means a few leaves replace spoonfuls of sugar. For anyone trying to cut back on sugar or support their health naturally, this is a game changer. From a profit standpoint, dried stevia leaves sell for $25 to $40 per pound, and these plants can be harvested multiple times per year in warm climates. In colder areas, grow them in pots and bring them inside before frost. Stevia loves full sun, moderate water, and well-drained soil. And here's the beautiful part. It keeps growing. You harvest it, it regrows. You harvest again. It's like having a renewable sweetener factory right outside your door. What makes stevia special to me is how practical it is. It's not just about selling it, it's about using it yourself, saving money, taking control of what goes into your body. In a world where so much feels complicated, growing your own sugar alternative feels empowering, simple, real. And now, for our final crop, I want to talk about something that grows where other plants can't. Something that doesn't need sunlight, doesn't need acres of land, and can start producing within weeks. I'm talking about gourmet mushrooms. Oyster, lion's mane, shiitake, these aren't just ingredients, they're culinary experiences. Restaurants pay premium prices for fresh gourmet mushrooms because they're meaty, flavorful, and packed with health benefits. And here's the incredible part. You can grow them in your garage, basement, or a garden shed. They thrive in dark, cool, humid spaces, the kind of environment most plants would hate. With the right setup, you can harvest in as little as 3 to 6 weeks. Fresh gourmet mushrooms sell for $10 to $20 per pound, specialty varieties even more. And they grow on waste materials, sawdust, straw, coffee grounds. You're literally turning trash into treasure. Plus, the spent mushroom substrate makes incredible compost for your garden. It's a perfect closed-loop system. For beginners, oyster mushrooms are foolproof. They grow fast, tolerate temperature swings, and almost never fail. Once you're comfortable, you can try lion's mane, which looks like a fluffy snowball and is prized for brain-boosting compounds. What I love about mushrooms is how different they are from everything else we've talked about. They're quiet, mysterious, productive. They don't need sunshine or seasons. They just need a little care and the right conditions. For anyone looking for passive income from their garden, mushrooms might be the closest thing to magic you'll find. So there you have it. 10 crops that prove gardening is about so much more than what you see at the big box stores. From saffron threads worth more than gold to mushrooms growing in the dark, from winter greens that laugh at frost to herbs that smell like heaven. Each of these plants tells a different story, rewards a different kind of patience. And the beautiful thing? You don't need a farm or big money to grow any of them. You just need curiosity and the willingness to try something most people overlook. As you're planning your next season, ask yourself, which one of these speaks to you? Which one makes you think, I could do that? Pick one. Start small. See where it takes you. Because gardening isn't just about what you grow, it's about who you become while you're growing it. The patience you develop, the connection you build with the earth, the quiet pride of creating something valuable with your own hands. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible, I'd love to keep exploring with you. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and drop a comment. Tell me which plant surprised you most, which one you're going to try first. Until next time, keep growing, keep experimenting, and remember, the best gardens are the ones that reflect you. Happy growing, my friends.